Hi there everybody and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Watch Dives WD-5512, which is a Submariner homage, another one. Now for those of you that have viewed my channel previously, you'll know that I am a massive fan of the Steel Dive SD1953. I think for the price point, which is around about $100 US, 125 Australian, it's the best sub homage you can get at that price point. But I hadn't seen the Watch Dives. Now admittedly the Watch Dives I think is a little bit more expensive. I'm going to put a link to show you what the price is on AliExpress at the moment, but I think in the anniversary sale coming up soon it will be significantly cheaper. But this may be taking the crown, guys. Now when this watch arrived it did come in the Steel Dive box, which I thought was a little bit odd. After doing a little bit of research though, I think that Steel Dive and Watch Dives are from the same factories, possibly even the same owners, but nevertheless they are slightly different. Now to show you the visual differences, I'm going to put some footage up now so that you can see it in plain day. The bezels are probably the biggest point that I would like to point out. The bezel on the Steel Dive is slightly larger fonts, whereas the Watch Dives is a little bit more true to the watch that it homages. Now, there's nothing wrong with either of them, quite frankly. The Steel Dive is what it is. At 20 mils, that bracelet does not taper, so it goes around. And when I've held it up against this, it just seems to look a little bit thicker and a bit more odd, if that makes sense. The bracelet on the Watch Dives seems to be a little more refined. Certainly on the clasp, it is absolutely more refined and is probably something a little bit more befitting of a sub homage. Now, in saying that, Steel Dive have started upgrading the clasp on their SD1953s, so that comment may not be true anymore, and especially if you're going to be buying a 1953 now. But do I recommend this watch? Yeah, I do. It is fantastic. Now to be clear, Watch Dives did actually send me this watch. I reached out to them after I actually reached out to them about the Speedmaster that they're going to be bringing out. And they said, look, have you seen the WD-5512? I'm like, well, no, I haven't. So they did send it to me. My opinions are my own though, guys. If I thought this was dog shit, then I would tell you it's dog shit. But I have had it on wrist for a week now. I've got plenty of other watches that I've got in my watch box. This has stayed on the wrist for the week. It is beautiful. Looking at it on the wrist, looking at it, I sort of caught myself, I was shaving the other day, under here actually, because obviously I've got beard here, but I was just giving myself a bit of a shave and I noticed in the mirror this thing glinting and I'm just in love with it. It is beautiful. At 40 mils, which is the case diameter, not including the crown, it sits really well on my 7¼ inch wrist. Now, while I'm waffling, I'm going to put some footage up for you so you can see it. But it's a genuine joy to wear. The bracelet has. I'm not going to say it's like the Rolex bracelet because it's not. There's a difference. But it's not far off, and it's certainly not thousands of dollars difference. I'm talking if I had them in a blind sort of test, holding them up and shaking them, the fitment or the quality of the finishing on the Rolex would sit at like a 9 out of 10, maybe 10 out of 10. Let's just say 10 out of 10. Watch Dives, 7, 7.5. I've held it up, I've rattled the watch. I mean, can you hear that? It doesn't make any sound. You hold some other watches and they rattle like they really jingle. The tolerances on it are absolutely fantastic. You've got your solid end links, you've got this really nice clasp, and I must say, I don't know what it is about the clasp, but it is just not scratched. And I was expecting this thing to scratch over the course of a week. I work and I've got a MacBook, so all of my other watches, they scratch on the aluminium and they pick up these hairline scratches. This hasn't had that happen, which really surprised me. Anyway, guys, NH35A Seiko automatic movement inside. You've got the sapphire crystal, 2.5 times magnifier on the date, anti-reflective coating, and the lume on the watch is really good. Now it's a BGW9, it's a blue, it's very different to the Steel Dive, which is almost nuclear. This isn't as bright, but it lasts just as long and it settles down into a nice blue glow, if that makes sense. Throughout the night, visibility has been fine. but it is the bezel has lume on the pip, not all throughout the bezel, the same as what you'll see on the Steel Dive. In terms of that bezel though, it does seem to have a little bit more polish on the Watch Dives than on the Steel Dive. Now admittedly that might be because I've worn the Steel Dive to hell and it's probably just a little bit dull, or I haven't polished it, I don't know. But this one, like I say, I caught myself shaving and looked at it in the mirror and it was just glistening. It looked a hell of a lot like the Submariner. Again, I think this is probably more refined than the Steel Dive. Finishing on the case is really nice. It's got this beautiful matte brushed finish on the top with polished edges on the side. I felt around the case, I couldn't find any rough edges or anything like that. So the finishing is absolutely top notch. So guys, pretty much my opinion, this watch is absolutely fantastic. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive than the ST1953, but you're after something that's a little bit more refined, in my opinion anyway, then the Watch Dives WD-5512 is certainly something that you want to be taking a look at. Guys, if you are interested, I've got a link in the description and up here somewhere, so please feel free to support the channel. We do make a slight commission on any sales, just to be really, really clear. But again, this is my opinion, guys. I genuinely think this is a fantastic watch for the price point. Like I say, you just can't go wrong. And if you want that Submariner look for a fraction of the price, then definitely something you want to check out. Anyway, guys, we've got a couple of other videos to get editing, so I'm going to leave you be. But thank you ever so much for your time. I wish you a lovely weekend, and I'll see you in a new video very soon. Take care, guys.